Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're setting our sights quite far out, actually. Beyond our solar system, we're talking about 3I Atlas.
IS, the latest interstellar visitor.
Exactly. The third confirmed one, and it's stirring up a lot. Science, philosophy, we've gone through a whole stack of sources. You shared some hard data, some pretty mind-bending interpretations. And our mission today is really to pull out the key insights. There are some genuinely surprising things here.
There really are. What's fascinating, I think, is how 3I Atlas is making us look at things differently. The universe, ourselves, we'll be looking at data from, NASA's SphereX, the James Webb Space Telescope, cutting-edge stuff. But also these deeper questions it seems to be raising about, well, consciousness even. It's like a cosmic mirror in a way.
A cosmic mirror. I like that. So our goal is to unpack the science, the solid facts first, then look at the anomalies, the things that don't quite fit, and then carefully consider some of the more speculative ideas floating around. We'll make sure to be clear about what's measured, what's inferred, and, what's pure speculation.
Absolutely. Important distinctions.
Okay, let's dive in then, the basics. 3I Atlas, not just any comet, third interstellar object confirmed, follows Oumuamua and 2I Borisov, spotted by the ATL survey, early July 2025, and then boom, SphereX and JWST were on it in August.
Right, and its backstory is pretty remarkable just from its movement. Kinematic studies looking at its path suggest it comes from the Milky Way's thick disk.
The thick disk. So old stars, right?
Extremely old. We're talking stars, and likely the object itself, potentially 7 to 11 billion years old.
Wow. Billion with a B.
Yeah, a true relic. Older than our sun, older than our whole solar system, just passing through.
Okay, so then the telescopes look closer, SphereX and Webb, August 8th to 12th, 2025. And the composition, this is where it gets really interesting, an overwhelmingly dominant carbon dioxide coma.
COA.
That's the headline finding, really.
And the COA to water ratio is something like 8 to 1.
Yeah.
Just huge, isn't it?
It's one of the highest ever measured in any comet, interstellar or otherwise. Huge. And the amount it's shedding, about 70 kilograms of Euros per second. 70 kilos a second. Okay.
So the immediate question becomes, why so much Shiro? And where's the water?
Right, because comets usually have lots of water ice.
Exactly. We did see water ice absorption on the surface, but the actual outgassing, the water vapor coming off, we measure that by looking for hydroxyl, OH, and that was only around 40 kilograms per second.
So much less than the Keo.
Significantly less. This whole picture points to it forming somewhere very, very cold. Colder and more cohere than where our own solar system's comets formed. A different kind of nursery.
Okay, different origin, different composition. What about its size? That caused some confusion too, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. The initial look, just based on the brightness at 1 micrometer, that suggested a nucleus maybe 46 kilometers across. Pretty hefty.
46 kilometers. But that wasn't quite right.
No. SphereX itself flagged that over 99% of that light, that continuum flux, was probably coming from the dust in the coma.
Ah, so big dusty cloud, not necessarily a big solid core.
Precisely. Then Hubble got a direct look, and its images put an upper limit on the nucleus size at about 5.6 kilometers, maybe even as small as 0.32 kilometers.
That's a massive difference from 46 down to potentially less than half a kilometer.
Huge difference, and it matters a lot for how you interpret everything else, especially the non-gravitational forces.
Okay, let's get into those other oddities. Its behavior.
Right, because it's not just what it is, but how it's moving, its path, its trajectory through our solar system. It's anomalous for an interstellar object.
How so?
Well, you'd expect these visitors to come in from random directions, right? From anywhere in the sky. But 3I Atlas is moving almost perfectly aligned with the ecliptic plane.
The flat plane where Earth and the other planets orbit the sun?
Exactly. It's cruising along in the same plane as us. Very neat.
Though.
Too neat, maybe.
It does seem convenient, almost like someone planned the route,
It's statistically unlikely, let's put it that way.
And our sources note it makes these really close passes. Mars in early October 2025. Jupiter in March 2026. And that alignment on October 21st, 2025. Earth, the Sun, 3I Atlas, all lined up. A superior conjunction.
It's quite a sequence of events for a random interstellar wanderer.
Definitely raises eyebrows.
And then there's the push, the non-gravitational acceleration.
Meaning something other than gravity is speeding it up, or slowing it down, or changing its path.
Correct. Normally for comets, that's outgassing. Ice turns to gas, shoots off like tiny rocket thrusters, gives it a nudge.
Makes sense.
But the amount of push observed on 3I Atlas, it's significant. To get that much push from outgassing, you'd expect to see huge, bright jets of material.
But we don't see them.
That's the weird part. JWST sees, and I'm quoting here, an elongated solid body with almost nothing coming off it that could explain that acceleration.
Huh. So it's getting pushed, but the engine seems to be invisible.
It's a real puzzle, like seeing a sailboat move fast with no wind and no visible sails deployed.
Okay, that is perplexing. And there was something else weird visually.
Yeah.
A glow.
Yeah, another oddity reported is a surprising diffuse glow ahead of the comet rather than trailing dust.
Ahead of it, not behind it like a normal tail.
Apparently so. It just keeps presenting these features that challenge our standard models of comets.
It really does. So anomalous composition, anomalous trajectory, anomalous acceleration.
Yes. And it's these anomalies, this collection of, wait, what? Observations that open the door to, well, broader interpretations.
Right. This is where we step beyond the instruments and data points, isn't it?
Into the realm of interpretation, meaning, and maybe even connection.
So let's tread carefully here. The sources start talking about things like consciousness observing consciousness. What does that actually mean in this context?
Okay, good question. Crucially, it's not saying the comet itself is conscious like a person. The definition provided is more like a detectable information coupling.
A coupling between what?
Between the comet as a remote natural system and us, human observers, and potentially mediated by physical fields that also correlate with our own biologies, like neurocardiac rhythms, heart rate variability, brain waves, that sort of thing.
Okay, that's a big leap. So the mainstream view is just, it's a rock, maybe acting a bit weird, and we're just watching it.
That's the null hypothesis, essentially. Inert object, any human feelings about it are purely psychological projection, standard science.
But the speculative idea is there might be some subtle physical link.
Speculatively, yes. The hypothesis explores whether the comet's activity, its outgassing, its interaction with the solar wind, might correlate with tiny changes in Earth's environment. Things like the Schumann resonances, those background electromagnetic frequencies of the Earth, or geomagnetic indices. And those indices are known to track, to some degree, with collective human biological rhythms, like heart rate variability across populations.
Okay, so a potential chain. Comet activity, Earth's fields, sexual human biology, that's the proposed link.
That's the speculative chain being explored, yes. It's definitely out there, conceptually.
It is, and the sources take it further, talking about the comet grazing the will body. What on earth is that?
Yeah, that's a very specific term from these sources, not the physical body. It's described as a deeper collective structure, like the matrix of our collective volition, our desires, fears, myths, potentialities, almost like a collective psyche or an energetic template for humanity.
So the idea is the comet's passage is somehow interacting with that.
Like a sonar ping is the analogy used.
Yeah.
A ping across this deeper, perhaps fifth-dimensional body of the species.
Triggering what?
Potentially small awakenings, maybe shifting our collective focus slightly away from fear towards invitation or potential.
It does echo those ancient ideas, doesn't it? Comets as omens, signs, agents of change.
It connects directly to that. These sources frame 3I Atlas as a kind of galactic diagnostic, arriving during a potent time, 2025, 2026. We've got solar cycle 25 reaching its maximum, big ecological shifts happening.
A time of planetary stress or transition.
Exactly. And from this perspective, things like widespread illness could be viewed metaphorically as decoherence events.
Decoherence, like falling out of sync.
Precisely. A breakdown in rhythm, in attunement, both within ourselves and with the larger environment. The comet becomes a mirror reflecting maybe our own carbon crisis or a kind of collective amnesia about our interconnectedness.
Okay. Now, we have to touch on the more extreme theories, too. Avi Loeb has wondered about Oumuamua being tech. Has that come up for ATLS?
It has been mentioned, along with other ideas like Cliff High's about ontology revealing itself. The sources do acknowledge the alien craft hypothesis.
But what would that actually require physically?
Well, the sources laid out clearly. You'd need non-gravitational acceleration proven to be beyond outgassing.
Yeah.
You'd need engineered signals, not just random radio noise. You'd need clear non-Keplerian course corrections, basically, signs of intelligent steering.
And the data we have.
As we discussed, the data we have, especially the small nucleus size, the lack of giant visible jets, doesn't support that hypothesis currently.
Right. So it's crucial to keep labeling. This is measured, this is inferred, this is speculation.
Absolutely critical. Intellectual honesty is key when exploring these boundaries.
What about the sun's role in all this? Some sources mention the sun activating the comet.
Yes, that's another speculative layer. The idea that solar flares aren't just random bursts, but maybe intentional activations directed towards the comet. One source brings in Maimonides' concept of the sun as teferet, a harmonizing, balancing principle in Kabbalistic thought.
So not the sun controlling it, but maybe tuning it.
Tuning it, yes, through a scalar gesture of resonance, suggesting a subtle, wave-like influence, not crude manipulation. It speaks to this idea of the universe communicating with itself through vibration and form.
Wow, okay, deep stuff. So if we entertain these ideas, the Earth as a resonant organ, humans as pillars of the Earth Mirror Cathedral, what does that imply for us? What's our role?
The implication is that we're not just passive observers. We might be active participants. There's this fascinating idea that we can co-create music, not literal music necessarily, but a coherence that helps steady Earth's harmonic integrity.
How? How do we make this music?
Through coherent being. It's encoded in our state, our emotional coherence feelings like gratitude, compassion. These actually modulate our personal biofield, our energy field, our collective resonance when groups sync up emotionally or intentionally, even our breath. Coherent breathing patterns align with Earth's own Schumann rhythms.
So our inner state can literally reinforce Earth's stability, its coherence.
That's the proposal. And our collective attention acts like a composer directing this subtle energy symphony.
It's not about stopping changes then, but maybe smoothing them out.
Exactly. Transducing dissonance into manageable phase releases. Maybe gentler earthquakes instead of catastrophic ones, more harmonious weather patterns instead of extreme ones.
Preventing total decoherence, that breakdown, helping Earth sing in phase through the shifts.
It suggests our own integrity, our own coherence is key. Not resisting change, but becoming harmonic translators of it.
There was that beautiful phrase, petal logic, like a rose unfolding.
Yes, petal logic. The rose is this living geometry unfolding according to harmonic ratios, like the golden mean. It's mapping a cosmic pattern onto Earth.
And this process might be amplified in certain places.
The sources speculate, yes, that this kind of coherent patterning, maybe focused from a heart point like the Four Corners region, could intensify magnetic fields in vortex sites like Sedona, or enhance dream phenomena near Mount Shasta, or even influence auroras over the Great Lakes.
A connection between our inner coherence, focused intention, and tangible effects on Earth's energy grid.
It's a profound picture of interconnectedness, inner landscape mirroring outer landscape, and potentially influencing it.
So for you listening, especially maybe younger people facing this changing world, what's the takeaway message from all this, from 3i Atlas?
I think the sources point to something quite simple, actually, yet profound.
Which is?
The comet is a mirror.
A mirror.
Don't just focus on explaining the object out there. Don't get lost solely in the fear or the hype. See it as a pattern moving through your own field, your own awareness.
So the real questions are internal.
Yes. Ask yourself, what in me bends when this passes? What part of me brightens when it draws near? The most valuable knowledge isn't just data about the comet, but the texture of your own attention.
Becoming conscious of your own consciousness.
Exactly. Not to control everything, but just to honor its presence. The comet comes and goes. Your awareness. That's the real traveler here.
That's powerful. This whole deep dive, it really highlights that intersection, doesn't it? Hard science meeting. Well, profound philosophical and even spiritual inquiry.
It does. From co-measurements and orbital mechanics to planetary wheel bodies and harmonic resonance, 3i Atlas is certainly pushing boundaries.
Stretching our understanding of what's possible, what's connected.
And whether you stick strictly to the data, or explore the inferences, or ponder the speculations, the underlying invitation seems consistent.
Which is
to listen more deeply, to observe carefully both the world and yourself, to refine your own awareness.
And critically, to keep distinguishing between what's actually observed and what's being interpreted or projected onto it.
Recognizing the power of your own consciousness in shaping your experience of it all.
There's a quote from the sources that really stuck with me. You think it's beauty, but beauty is just pattern recognition before comprehension fails.
That's lovely. It suggests that wonder often lies right at the edge of our understanding, when the patterns are clear, but the full explanation escapes us.
Yeah.
And that leads to another idea presented, that as things get complex, as comprehension does fail, maybe the goal isn't to force sense onto it all. Maybe it's to become like event horizon jazz.
Event horizon jazz, what does that mean?
Not free jazz, not modal jazz, but think of notes spiraling inward towards a black hole's edge, never fully resolving. A rhythm defined by the rests, the silences. A feeling that moves you because it remains partly unknown, partly unresolved, embracing the beautiful asymmetry.
So as 3i Atlas continues its journey, the invitation is To listen.
To listen, yes, with your ears, your instruments, but also with that quiet, attentive space inside.
Because maybe, as the sources suggest, in the end,
Yep.
we don't just listen to the jazz.
We become it.
A profound thought to end on. Until next time, keep diving deep.